Creators, the astrological new year is upon us, and it's here. And the sun just blasted into Aries season. Oh my goodness, the equinox portal is open. Are you ready? Because the rules have changed. If you're looking for the courage to take the leap, to take the next step, whatever that be for you, stay tuned right here, okay? Right here at Creators on the Crest. We're going to be clearing any of the energy from that retrograde fog, because we also have Mercury pausing and stationing direct in the sky. And we're going to be pulling some cards today for the creator community, the New World Warriors. All right, so get ready. Here we go. Whew. All right. Put my spectacles on here. How's everybody doing? How's the sound? If you're here, let me know. Let me know in the live chat. Say hello, hello. Let me know that you have sound, that you can hear. Everything's good to go. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Jason. Making sure that we're online. We'll give it a moment for the communities to get these messages and get this in the algorithms. Hello, hello, who's ever joining. So today we're going to be talking astrology. We're going to be talking tarot. We're going to be talking astrotarology, which is astrology and tarot blended. And using that method, using the method of astrotarology, where both the disciplines, both the arts and sciences come together, is a great way to incorporate and facilitate the changes you want to make in your life for our evolutionary growth and development. All right, Tressa from Your Self Evolved is here. Good morning. Good morning. We're actually looking like we're going to have quite a warm day. We have the windows open here. We've got the sun shining, and it's really interesting because just, this last, what was it, Monday, like Sunday, Monday, it was like icy and snow blowing sideways, and now it's like going to be 90. I mean, we just have some really crazy ups and downs going on where I am, but I'm going to do a few reminders before we get rolling here. Today's live is collective readings, right? So no personal questions today. However, we do have an opening for you to come on the channel. I have a 1-hour live Q&A this Sunday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can come on and ask your question or present your theme, and you get a free mini reading. Now, this benefit is for subscribers only, so do make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you'd like to get your free mini reading on Sunday evening. And then I do that every other Sunday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. Central. So mark your calendars for that, and you can definitely come on and ask your question then. We also have the new Wednesday Archetype series that's come out. These are going to be short videos under 10 minutes of learning about the different major arcana cards. And this past Wednesday, I released an episode on the Fool, the 0 card of the major arcana. So if you'd like to take, under, I think it's like 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes to really connect with that energy, please check out that video after the live today. And also know that in that video, in the description, and also in the description for this video, I have a link to the audio archive library that I'm building. So there's going to be 22 self-paced audios that are going to give you deep, immersive connection, somatic connection with these archetypes of the tarot, starting with the Fool and ending with the World. Okay, so you'll have a full cycle. In addition to that, learning about those archetypes and learning to embody the wisdom of those archetypes, you also learn about the astrology connected to each of those cards. And so the library is already available. if you'd like to go ahead and sign up for that. And each week, a new major arcana audio file will be added to that library until all 22 are uploaded there. And then once those are all up, the price on that will go up. So it might be something that you want to invest in now, that you want to commit to. And, you know, it's time-wise, it's really easy because I'm making these audio files like 5 minutes. They're like 5-minute activations. So you don't have to take a lot of time out of your day. In fact, you could be on your lunch break in your car and you could play one of these to help ground or center yourself or connect in a certain way with whatever energy you're looking to connect with. Midnight Squirrel, hello. I hope to see you at my Sunday live because that's where we will have free mini readings, okay? Free personal mini readings on my Sunday live. So there's some things to check out. Now, in Monday's episode of Astrotarology, okay, that's a little bit longer form video. Put the kettle on, get yourself some tea, get your favorite, you know, latte, and have a listen to that Astrotarology. We covered the gifts of neutrality. All right, and I really focused on this oracle card from the Whispers of the Oceans Oracle here. Number 34, and this is the Nautilus, which has the uncanny ability to shift its internal chambers to handle all kinds of different oceanic pressure. Okay, so very cool energy to talk about and how to achieve that frequency of neutrality. Yes, Kenny, it is Aries season. Absolutely it is. Happy birthday to all the Aries out there. Do I have any Aries sun signs on right now? Let us know, and happy birthday to you. All right. A very happy birthday to you. All right. So today we're going to talk about a few of our little crystal allies and what we can use to kind of help us on our journey for this Aries season. I've got my Aries Ram shirt on today here. And yes, Kenny, thank you for being here. Hello, hello. All right, so we've got some crystal allies. We've got red calcite. This is a really nice one. See that warming orangey red energy in this calcite here? You could use orange or red calcite probably. And it just is like has that warming effect of Aries season. But I really like how it's soft and subtle too. And calcite kind of has like a little bit of a muted kind of surface to it. It's not like super bright and shiny. Can be from like on the back here, you can see a little shine, but where it's been polished, it kind of has that calcium looking feel to it. So you might like to use a bit of that. If you're a crystal hound like myself, some of you have mentioned before, and we've talked about carnelian being an amazing stone to use right now. Also very warming, very helpful. This is my little piece. Excuse me. Sip of water time. The carnelian's clearing me out here. Very helpful for active energies, these stones. I don't have one with me right now, but red jasper is also very, very good. Now, with the energy of the sun and Mercury is stationing right now, which means from the perspective of Earth, Mercury is pausing in the sky. It's not moving, but it's getting ready to go direct. So I bet everybody's pretty happy about that. We've been in that retrograde fog and the fog of Pisces season for quite some time. No offense. Pisces is the shamanic energies of the zodiac. But it does feel nice to kind of come out from under that for the spring equinox here. So I'm also recommending you can use clear quartz crystal, or here, this is one called Harlequin quartz that I have. If you can find a piece of this, this I got, oh gosh, at like a rock and mineral store, like searching through drawers in the back of the shop. You know, it was like one of these like prize finds. I'm really good at finding unique crystals at crystal shops and stuff, because I take the time to look beyond just what they have on the, main shelves. So right here we have Harlequin quartz. You've got the clear quartz, then you've got the oxidation creating that red irony color, which is great for Aries season. And you've got hematite in here, which is very grounding. So if you can land your hands on a piece of Harlequin quartz, recommend that as well, okay? So, whew. Yes. Hi, Zara. Yes, you're self-evolved. Yes, some of these, it's a little tricky. I mean, to say whether or not the tech issues will calm down. I mean, I've seen some weird stuff. I've seen things glitch out for like no apparent reason. Maybe you've witnessed some of that too. I have not, knock on wood, had any total breakdowns with tech, but just some odd things like we need to reset this and that. And they are really going to town with those data centers right now. So who knows what's going to happen with all of that. But Mercury being in retrograde does have the tendency to spark more of those types of issues. With it stationing and going direct, I think is it stationed for 2 days maybe? By Sunday it'll be direct, but you still have a post shadow. So we still want to, dot our I's, cross our T's. Any of you that are doing paperwork or anything legal like taxes or anything, just, still keep an eye on things. As always, we want to kind of keep an eye and maybe an extra eye until that post shadow clears. Ashley's here. Hi, Ashley. Welcome. Aloha to you. I also wanted to recommend a couple of really nice herbs and spices for Aries season. I personally love cinnamon. Cinnamon is a really good spice. I know sometimes we think of this around the holidays, we think of it more in the winter, but it actually is really good for your blood flow. Of course, you have to follow, your nutritionist and your doctors. Everyone's different. It's not a one size fits all world. But for me, I love it. I take it, I mix it with turmeric, with cayenne, and with black pepper. And I make little capsules, and I have it takes care of inflammation. It gets the cardiac blood flow going, and I love it. So cinnamon would be really nice. You can work with also the smell, the scent of cinnamon. So you don't have to, necessarily intake it. You can work with it from another perspective as well, with like an essential oil, or even just having cinnamon sticks and having the smell. Rosemary is really nice right now for clarity. It works really well with your quartz crystals as well. So you might have like a sprig of fresh rosemary with a crystal. You could kind of, carry that in your purse in a satchel or something like that. And those are just really, those are our helpers. I will take all the help I can get. I don't know about you guys, but I take all the help I can get. And I love working with the mineral, the spices, the herbs, those kingdoms and queendoms where you can work with these wonderful little helpers. And many of them are just easy to carry on you throughout the day. So it reminds you of that beautiful active energy of Aries season that's coming in. But it, if you, especially working with this calcite, it kind of takes the edge off a little. It's soft. You can kind of rub your fingers on it. I mean, it's still hard, but it's softer, it's kind of pleasant. If you have like a worry stone, how they have them, sometimes your thumb can just go really good in the grooves there. Definitely pull those out. So today we're going to focus a bit more on the Fool energy, because I like to tie everything together each week as we're going through the psychic weather, the astrology, and the tarot. And our two primary astrology focuses today are really Mercury stationing, that pause in the sky, and the equinox, happy equinox, the equal parts day and night, the first time this year in 2026 for us. And this is the Astrological New Year. So a lot of you may actually operate better with going with today as your new year. rather than January 1st. All right. So if you're one of those people that's like, I just can't get into New Year's resolutions with the Gregorian calendar, in December, it's still winter. So, it can be tough for some people to really get in to that new, fresh, active energy when it's still winter, when that first retrograde is coming, when we had the fog of Pisces season, right? So some of you, this may feel like your new year, all right? And I definitely encourage everyone who's feeling that vibe to embrace it. Embrace that, because this is your time to kind of get out and take those actions you've been wanting to take. Tressa says, yes, crystal jewelry, absolutely. In your purse, in the car, by the bed, in the office. Yeah, absolutely. We can use it anywhere and everywhere, and just working with each one in its own unique way. Let them speak to you, and help you. Ooh, and I just got like a nice warming sensation in the heart of like, we can be supported by these things. That's nice. Ooh, it's kind of tingly. Nice. All right, so we are igniting the astrological new year today. So today I'm going to get into oracle messages, and this is called, this oracle message grouping today is called the Fool's Leap. So we're actually going to blend in that Aries action and imagine, jumping off. We're going to jump off. This is our launch point, and we're going to jump off. And it's going to be really exciting. So, if you have not seen that Wednesday video, it's only 6.5 minutes. Check it out when you're ready. And then if you're interested in that audio library, it's already available on my website, and you can check that out. And you're going to get an archetype every week, an archetype audio. All you have to do is give yourself 5 minutes of a break, listen and reset, listen and get ignited, listen and prioritize what you need to in your life. Okay. So the Fool, let me talk about the Fool just real quick before we get into, I'm getting the itchy nose. You guys know when my nose starts itching, the energy start flowing, my nose will itch and start running a little bit. And that's my indicator. We're ready to get into the energies here. The Fool. I really look at this card and have really connected with this archetypal energy through the zero point. So my take on this card is that the Fool is representative of that very first leap that our soul took to become embodied here on Earth in this three-dimensional reality right now. It literally is an incarnation point card for me. And I really, really love working with the energy that way. It's the beginning of the major arcana. It's the first steps. And it goes along so nicely with Aries season here right now. All right, it really does, because it is about those first steps, those first actions that you take. It's kind of like you've been doing the overwinter thing and you're ready to come out and face the sunshine. The Fool has arms open, is carrying a wand of fire with a very small knapsack here. So the Fool travels lightly. Not a lot of burdens going on there, just a few essentials, right? A few of your favorite crystals. And the Fool's arms are open. The heart is open to the experience. All right. So this card can be really nice to connect with when you want to be reminded of, you came here for a reason. You came here with an open heart. You came here with purpose. All right. The shadow aspects of the Fool can be a little bit of naivety, a little bit of spontaneity of like, the dog, little white dog here, the little helper is saying, hey there, you're about to like walk off the cliff. Are you sure you want to do that, right? And I think it just speaks to us being able to connect with that frequency of courage, which I spoke about in Astrotarology, and that courage energy that we can embody and be reminded of from the Fool leads us into the beautiful gift of neutrality, right? And it's through that courage and through that energy of neutrality, which I talked about in depth on the Monday video. So be sure to check that out if you're interested, if you're feeling that vibe, because that is what's going to help you not get so triggered, okay, and not get so attached to things. And believe me, things are going to keep happening, okay, in the reality field that we're swimming in here. Stay hydrated. I gotta stay hydrated here. Okay, so there's going to be a lot going on. It's going to get crazier and crazier in that field, right? And we see that when things are breaking down, when things in these systems are really breaking down, we're going to see that kind of the final death throes, and we're going to see these things kind of happen. Unfortunately, it does have a real impact on people. Okay, it does have a real impact. So if we can position ourselves with courage and neutrality, then we can take the best steps forward and the first steps toward creating the reality that we would want to see, which, if you're a creator being and you're showing up here, is not one of war and violence, okay? It's one of peace and growth and evolution, all right? For yourself and for everyone, for others as well. All right, so it's not just about you, but it is about you from the perspective of your inner work is what you have the authority over. All right, so we're going to get some oracle cards, and we want to get informed a little bit from the Fool about this leap we're taking. So we're going to start with the Cosmic Energy Oracle cards here, and this is a message for our creator community. When I read, I'm connecting the energy of my greater being. So I kind of go out to those edges of my energy and connect with your greater being. So the edges of your energies. And since this is collective, you know, there's going to be some overlap there. So sometimes these messages will feel personal to you. You may feel like, oh, that one really resonated with me. Other times I might be picking up on another area of the collective. So always just trust your own intuition and receive the messages in a way that is best for you, okay? And you will know what is yours to open your heart to and what might be for others. So our first card here, and this is beautiful, just speaking of the gifts of neutrality and really creating a more peaceful future. And let me know what you think of this. It's compassion. And the way it's defined in this card, and I'll show you the card in a moment because it looks like a heart balloon. It's really pretty. Compassion is the warmth of the soul. Give it to others and yourself. Isn't that beautiful? And what a beautiful, like, red, orange, yellowy colors. It reminds me of like Aries season energy, like stepping into Aries season with a big, full, fiery heart, with like your soul on fire and with compassion. Hi, Karen. Welcome, welcome. Let me know in the chat, what is this card? How does this like kind of make you feel, this vibe? Are you feeling that Aries warmth, or are you still kind of navigating the fog of that retrograde and the Pisces season? Because, you know, we've just kind of turned the page. It's all kind of run together right now. Ooh, that's the color of your new couch. Ooh, how grounding. That must feel nice. It's really interesting because up here, we've got kind of this, like, almost looks like Mars, perhaps, and some sort of cosmic little thread there or connection. Then we've got like the shape of a star, and then we have like stars like we would see in the sky. It looks like we have a little butterfly there. So there's lots of little touches kind of scattered in this card too. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Compassion, the energy of compassion, being able to gift that to yourself and others, I think is a remarkable way to start off these oracle messages. And, you know, sometimes as we grow up and then there's like all the programs and the brainwashing, you know, we forget that we came in to the world with that compassion, with the Fool energy. So, you know, check that out. Check out that Wednesday video when the live is over. It's really a quick and easy one. It's got, you know, it's a bit of mysticism, but also a bit of education. All Rebecca, hello. How are you today? Good to see you. Karen says the couch is a rust paprika color and it shines peachy orange and looks more red in the shadows. Wow. Good. Good, Rebecca. That couch sounds beautiful. We're going to move on to the Sacred Traveler Oracle here and get a message for our Fool's Leap. So here we are. We're probably feeling to some degree, and let me know in the comments, how active have you been feeling? Are you ready to kind of get out there and take some sort of action? And if so, if you'd like to share like what action you're working on. You know, I've just been looking into more and more about collaborations and community and working with others, like co-creating with others. And that's a little bit of a, you know, when you're a solopreneur, it's a little bit of a leap. So I've really been looking to explore collaborations, get back into my podcast, Real Life Mages, get some more people interviewed there, but also, you know, looking for those opportunities to work with others that are of those complementary frequencies. So definitely looking at that. Karen says, I will henceforth know it as my Aries couch. Yes. Yes, I love it. Bringing warmth and comfort, you know. Ooh, okay. So this card always intrigues me when I pull it from the Sacred Traveler's Oracle here. And I think it's that discussion and it's a conversation that comes up in the spiritual community a lot and in life, because sometimes when we see things, when things are presented to us from the effects field out there, we tend to fixate on something as like, okay, I've seen that, that's the goal, that's what I want. And we tend to look at, I've got to reach that destination. And then we kind of cycle through, sometimes struggle through the journey it takes to get there. Okay, so any of you who have ever done a startup, worked on creating your own business, you know what I'm talking about, right? You kind of know where you want to be, but to get there, the journey is like, whew, right? It will really take you places. But here we do have the reaching your destination card, and it says your light is shining brightly. And so certainly we see that beautiful castle in the bubble, right? Whatever our goal is, whatever it is we want, whatever we want to manifest, you know, the new experience, the new job, the new car, the new home, the whatever. And there it is floating in a bubble. And I think that's kind of symbolic, is it's out there in the energies, right? And below that, here is the winding path. And so sometimes we get so focused on the destination point, we forget about the path, or we get stuck on the path. Sometimes we get stuck on the path of like comparing ourselves to others. It's that imposter syndrome, or comparing ourselves to what we think success is in whatever we're aiming for. And we may be missing other opportunities, transformations along the way here. There may be some hidden opportunities because these bubbles don't look as defined as this one. So can we actually give ourselves the grace and the compassion to enjoy the journey and not become, we can still have goals, okay? And I know if there's any Sagittarius folks out there, you know, you like your goals, you like to shoot for that, you're shooting right for that target, right? But can we enjoy the journey? Can we give ourselves compassion and grace along the journey? And yes, another butterfly in the card representing transformation. The transformation happens. And it's not about transformation of this destination point. It's about you transforming on the path, on the journey. So, you know, sometimes sub and unconsciously, it can get really easy to become unknowingly fixated on something and then we can even miss opportunities along the path. And just a little personal story here. I set out really seriously in 2024, starting up on YouTube here, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be monetized in a year and blah, blah, blah. And you see all these clickbait videos and such that are like, oh, this is how you get monetized, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter was, I was becoming comfortable, first and foremost, being on video, being on camera. So my experience at the time was just, let me just do it, because I had taken 2 years to try to talk myself out of it and have the discussion and get set in my mind, like, I'm going to do this, to actually beginning to be out there on camera, right? And the landscape for this platform from 2019, 2020 to now has completely shifted. The algorithm approach, everything has shifted, right? It's not what it was. So here I was looking at these tarot channels that just blew up, and I'm thinking, that's what I want. I got to do it that way. I got to do it that way, but you can't do it that way when other factors have changed. And I learned I'm a manifesting generator in human design. So some of you may or may not know your own human design. There's projector, generator, manifesting generator, reflectors. It's important, I think, and helpful to kind of know not only your astrology chart, but your human design, which blends in astrology. I think it's good to take those personality tests. Like, I'm an INFJ in the Myers-Briggs, okay? Yes, have the generator energy. As a manifesting generator, I have both. I can kick out content. I can do stuff, okay? But there's another part of me, the manifester part of me, that doesn't want to work so hard and wants to be more creative and put out more focused on value than on volume. And what I was looking at achieving was very high output volume, okay? The volume game. And I think a lot of us who have been on YouTube or maybe even Instagram as well, on some of these platforms, are focused on, we're seeing people achieve, but they were achieving through the volume game. And it's not to say they didn't work hard. It's not to say they don't add value, but there's a time where you have to ask yourself, am I playing that volume game? And do I have the personality? Do I have the lifestyle for that? I'm a homeschool mom, raising 2 kids, right? Like, there's other things going on. I can't crank out 12 sign readings every week, plus a monthly, plus a this, plus a mid-month, plus a that, and to the people who can, great, but they probably have a much different lifestyle and personality than I do. And I had to say, okay, you know what? As I'm walking on this journey and realizing I can't keep that up, because I will burn all the way out real fast, right? All of that Aries energy will teach us where we burn out fast. I've got to redesign and replan what I'm going to do here, because how do I like working with people? How do I extend compassion? And what are my greatest, assets as a spiritual coach? And is it really playing the volume game to hit that, the algorithm game, or is it the value, right? So really have a look at that for yourself. Some of you may be generators and you're like, oh yeah, I can crank out stuff. Boom, 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 boom. I do it every day. That's great if you can, right? But others of us, that's not so much our design, right? And if you're a projector, you've got this beautiful perspective. You projectors out there, you can see what's going on, often ahead of others. You can see the things that other people can't. But your personality, you have such a penetrating aura and energy that you have to wait for the invitation. Or when you talk to people, they go, deer in the headlights, and they just, either goes over their head or it triggers their cognitive dissonance and they get mad at you, right? So projectors, you have to navigate even differently from that, right? So knowing how you operate, and let me know, do you know, what do you use when you think about yourself and your own personality and your astrology chart? Start with what you know, because it's a lot of information, but what do you go on? How do you figure out how you operate? I've told you kind of my personal story and how I shifted from volume to now value, right? And I'm not going out there and I'm not going to be attracting people with like 2-second attention spans. Okay. That's not where I do my best work. I work best with people who can hold an energetic field for longer than it takes to do a short. Okay. The TikTok, the YouTube shorts, right? But yet that's the energy that's really being pushed from the effects field, because they do want people, they want their brains, the conscious mind, quickly distracted on short things so that they don't sink into the subconscious, unconscious mind and begin to go deeper into things, question things, critically think. That's what's really going on. So let me know where you're at with it. You know, we all have different personalities, different angles, but really being honest with yourself about, you know, have I taken a look at something and think, yeah, I want that, only to travel along the path and say, wait a minute, that doesn't fit my lifestyle. That doesn't fit what I need, and having to readjust and adapt, right? Oh, it's tricky because, and it's like you look back and you're like, wow, it's taken me 2 years to figure that out. And then you're like, but I figured it out, and I'll figure out the next part of the journey as well. And it does help to kind of build your endurance in these things as you go. We're going to switch over now to another oracle card from the Moon Witch Oracle. I don't personally get too attached to the label witch. I've been called that before, certainly. Not in a bad way, just like, oh, it's kind of witchy or whatever. But I don't see Wicca in the same way that many people do, and I see it more as earth-based and earth-connected. So this Moon Witch Oracle, ooh, and that one flipped right out. It was like, you're picking me, is a beautiful way to really kind of connect. It's got a very feminine feel to it as well. And I'm loving this message. It just, I feel like with this deck, I get what is flowing from the universe here. So if you're enjoying this, be sure to put a thumbs up on the video. You can also hit the little heart emojis over to the right. You can drop a comment in the live chat. All of that helps see if we can get some of these other creator beings who value this space and this information to be able to see the channel and see the live. But we got the balsamic moon. Things come and things go. Surrender to the universe. And, you know, the balsamic moon, it's just a slight little sliver there, slight little fingernail of the moon that you can see. And here she is reaching up, you know, fully nude and vulnerable into this energy. Things come and go. Surrender. Surrender to the truth of who you are. Surrender into, as I was speaking of, your personality traits, your chosen lifestyle, you know, and I know some of you are making changes to that as well. But really knowing your own energy and how much you can hold and handle, and when you need your rest, that's so important. Balsamic, it kind of gives me, you know, I think of like balsamic vinegar, and I think about like that punch and acidity and kind of the awareness when have you ever got like just a little bit too much mouthful of like vinegar, balsamic vinegar kind of hits you in the back of the throat, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, am I gonna stop breathing? What's going on here? Oh my goodness. But and you kind of have to, it catches you in the moment. You have to surrender. You have no choice but to surrender into that moment and get a drink of water or clear your throat, right? So this is a beautiful message coming through as we're thinking about taking the leap. Can we surrender? Can we do that trust fall into the universe, right? Into the universe's arms, so to speak. And that ties so beautifully into the archetype audio that I've created for the Fool, which is everything's in the description if you're interested in that. Things come and go. There's also this energy of, we're letting things go as well. We know that our experience here is temporary, but the surrendering to the universe, that is an ongoing part of the journey, right? So the material world, the physical world, things come and go. But there's that deeper part of us, the deeper aspect, the point, 0 point energy that the Fool is connected to, the incarnation point when we come into this reality. We have the courage, first of all, to do so, right? We come into the reality, take the leap, and our soul lands here for the experience, and trusting that. DNA mindset matter. Hello. Happy Friday to you. Welcome. It's nice to see you. Hope everybody's enjoying their day so far. We're going to turn to the Earth Warriors Oracle next. And you might have seen on the thumbnail here that I titled this The New World Warriors. And, we always hear New World Order and stuff like that. And the world is changing. None of us can deny that we are experiencing great change going on in the reality field, right? So what we are becoming is that new world warrior. And, warriors don't necessarily have to be warring. They can be the peaceful warrior. They can be the neutral warrior. They can possess courage and the gift of neutrality. They can be a preventative warrior where they read the strategy and the field so well that they're able to navigate around situations. I'm thinking of the Libra energy for any of you who are Libras out there, our lovely Libras that see things, see the different perspectives, and can come to that middle point. Oh gosh, I love this one. Did we get this one last time I used this deck? I guess we need it again. I think we did get this one. The last time I used this deck on Frequency Friday, we got this card, I'm pretty sure. 21 Didiri, Hearing Truth. Just let everybody have a look at this card. I guess we needed to hear it again. So some of you might recognize this if you were on that Frequency Friday. Because I remember the dove kind of coming out and her mind being at peace. I really loved that. We were looking at the butterfly again. We were kind of feeling like this was a sunflower. Hearing truth. And I think at that point we had talked a lot about our auditory, and I had I remember this because I had a perforated eardrum over winter during the holidays, which I hadn't had since I was like a kid, and it was healing. And some of us were experiencing those clairaudience upgrades. And this is coming up again, and I'm getting and my nose is itching like crazy. So the energies are really potent for this. What I'm actually getting is that some of you are pleasantly surprising yourself with how you are expressing and hearing your own voice speak truth. All right. I think that's really beautiful. It feels like a little bit of a shift. I don't think this is about you hearing truth from outside of yourself, although I think you will recognize that. This to me feels like the internal truth arising within you. And maybe you're doing, affirmations, or you're practicing speaking or something, and you're hearing your own voice. You're hearing the truth in your own voice. That's really, really beautiful. And it really feels like the 21 here, 2 + 1 is 3. And I'm getting kind of that mind, body, soul. Like you're hearing truth in the frequency of the sounds. Some of you maybe, I don't know, do any of you sing or hum or whistle? Like I feel like there's, you know, you're hearing things in your own voice, which is really cool. Like you're hearing truth come through in your, like happy tunes or joyful frequencies coming through. We definitely have like frequency and flow happening in this card here. So interesting. It comes up with a little bit, I'm not getting as much as like clairaudience. To me now it feels more like you hearing your own, maybe it's your own internal voice and you're putting words to that, or you're putting sound to that, and it, or maybe you need to, maybe this is something of like, oh yeah, I need to do that. I think I spoke about in Astrotarology from Monday's episode, the power of whispering, and how the whisper, when you take your voice down to a whisper, and if you're doing your affirmations in the mirror or whatever, and you take the voice down to a whisper, it connects in with that subconscious, unconscious realm where you can really hear and perceive more of yourself, more than just the conscious mind, which, remember, is under constant bombardment with distractions, right? And brainwashing and all of that stuff, right? So when you can really connect in deeply with these energies of your own inner voice, of your subconscious, and how your own voice is speaking, how you sound. Ooh, and my nose, like when my nose itches, like I just feel like for somebody this is really powerful, if not multiple of you. Like I'm, woo. I know it's spring and I know there's things in the air. We've opened up the house, but I always get the nose itching year round when I do these readings. Our last card for the oracle messages before we move into the tarot breakout readings, which are going to be awesome, so stay tuned for that, is coming from the Starseed Oracle. It's such a beautiful, look at those beautiful colors there. And we got, I remember, soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. And here is kind of an abstract picture of a woman sitting almost like gazing down into a cosmic pool and remembering, oh yeah, that's why I came here. I didn't come here to go live in that castle over there somewhere. I came in here to have a different experience, right? I came here to have a journey. I have a plan. All right, so how am I going to align with that timeline of my destiny? This is the Fool represents kind of the not knowing and having the courage to take the leap. But the remembrance then is the knowing deep down in your soul that you had a plan, that you're here for a reason, that you came here to live your best life and your destiny life. So you're probably going to hear my neighbors. Windows are open, kids are playing. Okay. Breakout tarot readings today. Okay, so we're going to take the astrology that's going on right now, and we're going to go ahead and dive into a few of the different energies. I'm going to do 3 different breakout tarot readings today. And the first one is going to be highlighting the Mercury retrograde, and it's called the Retrograde Resolution, okay? This is where, okay, we're going to take this opportunity. Mercury is pausing in the sky. Mercury is stationing. We're going to take this opportunity to go ahead and look at the lessons. What have we learned? Are there any of those conscious mental loops that need to be closed out still, right? We still have the post shadow, so we have time. We're not going to rush ourselves. We're surrendering into the process. That's going to be our first reading. We're going to kind of look at what we're closing out, what lessons we've learned and we're meant to embody as we step out on this new fiery Aries season journey. The second breakout reading is going to be our courage catalyst. Okay, so this is going to be giving us the messages that are going to help us take pure initiative on our destiny paths. Whatever that soul plan is that you have, How are you going to take initiative, and what are some energies that will be helpful to us on the path? And then lastly, we'll get into a reading called the New World Warrior. And this is actually no archetype that has ever existed before. This is the archetypes that we are becoming, that we are embodying in these new energies. This is going to help us connect in with what our deepest spiritual tools are. And since we got that hearing truth again, I had written down on here on my paper, Sword of Truth. And so I'm kind of thinking about like metal, like a metal sword, if you tap it, you know, and it kind of has that reverberation, that vibration, that ring to it. And I'm definitely feeling that for some of you really connecting and having this experience with that energy, right? So that's really, what does the New World Warrior archetype look like? Because believe me, there's people, I guess you can call them, in the world that are trying to create the new world they want, right? And it comes with a lot of restrictions and control, and with a lot of deception and manipulation. The allegory of Plato's cave, where here's the wall of the cave, and here's all the slaves chained, so-called chained, and they can only see the images that are being projected by these few controllers, the they of the world, right? And then there's the creator beings who begin to break through those chains, begin to leave the cave. They experience the real world. They experience their destiny path. They begin connecting with that energy. They struggle because if they come back trying to tell everybody else, hey, y'all, here's the real world is out here. The world of your growth, your evolution, your opportunity, it's all out here. It's very difficult for the people still in those chains to hear you. And so oftentimes they exile you, ignore you, or even hurt you or harm you, or because they're cognitive dissonance of like, no, what I'm seeing on the wall of the cave is real. It's a great allegory. If you haven't studied it, definitely check it out. The New World Warriors are the warriors that have left the cave. Okay? So if you've left the cave, stay tuned for that one. Let's go ahead and get into the retrograde resolution. I like to do the resolving and the releasing and all of that first. So let's just get that, out of the way. I think in the past couple of weeks when I've been planning too, I'm like, gosh, I don't want to focus on releasing anymore. Is there, like I'm so tired of that. Let me know in the comments, have you guys just been, are there moments where you're just like, how much more do I have to release, right? And maybe release isn't even the right languaging. Maybe it's just reassessing or refocusing or, recovering something from the past, a tool that you need to take forward. But it's just kind of like, okay, let's get moving. And I've been feeling this Aries energy coming, right? Yes, can I get a break, universe? Yeah, trust you know what I mean. It's like, why do I have to revisit this? And, that even came up, it comes up in the cards sometimes with our like ancestral and family issues, mother-father wounding and all of that kind of stuff, And I think it's so potent because the parents, the parental, it's our first connection, right? It's our first connection. We drop in, we've got our soul with us and we know we have this destiny, but we're helpless, right? And it's the parents, it's the parental energy, for good or for worse, that affects us the most. And so it takes the whole lifetime to continue reassessing, releasing, forgiving, right? We've talked about forgiveness a lot lately too. So let's see what comes up. I think I've shuffled enough. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. All right. It's looking pretty good. So, you know, take a deep breath and sigh it out. It's looking pretty good. We're definitely moving here, and we're moving into this Aries energy. And it's nice to see what we're releasing here. So it's interesting. I was using the analogy of Plato's cave and the chains. Guess what we got? Oh, the big baddie. My daughter calls this one the big baddie card. The devil. And there they are in chains. But look, those chains aren't that tight. They could take them off, free themselves, right? They can be released from this energy. And what is this? Look at this. Does that look like a little black monolith to anyone? A little cell phone there to anybody? That is like, when I was going deeper into this card over the last few years, I'm like, that is a black monolith. That is a screen that the devil is perched on, right? That reveals something to us. Now, I know historically it might have been something else, right? But like, to me, that is the modern day cell phone right there, which some of you are probably on a device watching this, right? The irony, right? But it's about knowing when to release, rest, free yourself, step away. Even if you're a content creator, a business owner, being able to step away, get out into nature, get out into the real world, right? And free yourself from this very limited perspective. You don't have a lot of movement here. This card is also about kind of the energy of like, just resigning yourself to kind of the lower physical energies. This is going to be something we've seen like with those certain files that got released, you know, people in power playing into these energies, right? So we see a lot of examples of it. But the good news is this one is about what have the lessons been for us. I think some of us have got really good at spotting this, both in from a societal perspective, right? So we've been outside the cave, we've taken the chains off, so we know what this looks like. And so that programming doesn't work on us anymore, which is fabulous, right? I mean, I don't know about y'all, but like pretty much any commercial marketing, like if we're watching something like it's just so obvious what it is, like, but people will watch hours and hours of it and constantly, you know, there's programs and manipulations and all of those things that try to break through your conscious to subconscious barrier, and then it locks you down in these energies. And this is about breaking free. This is about breaking free of that. And I'm telling you, it's looking good for the creator community here who has an awareness of this, because it's very frustrating, right? You could be the only one in your family or anyone in your group of friends that sees this. This can be very isolating sometimes. There can be the desire and then temptation to go back into the cave and just to be around people, but the soul is like, I can't be a slave anymore now that I know what's going on, right? And this is the kind of energy that we've learned from, that this retrograde, so the retrograde in the Pisces season brings that fog. Congratulations, creators, because you have risen out of this. You are rising out of this. You see through that programming. Rena, hello. Welcome to Creators on the Crest, Rena, Northern Minnesota. Woo. And a Cancer rising. Yay. I'm a Cancer sun. So awesome. I love it. Welcome, welcome. So here's the direction the creator community is taking things. So we've had these awarenesses. There's been sacrifice here because we know in order to really claim what is real in our lives and in our journeys and in our past, that sometimes we have to leave others behind who choose to remain chained or are still just very, very hypnotized by the programs, right? And it can be a real challenge to navigate that, but we are finding success with that, creators. The Six of Wands, yes. This is good. This makes me feel, and here's our fire horse. Some of you ladies may have been part of the Fire Horse Rising Temple. I still do have that available on my website. Check it out. It's about an hour and a half long immersive experience of embodying the Queen of Wands, which, by the way, she's up next. Embodying the Queen of Wands and meeting your fire horse. Here's this beautiful energy that we worked through in that masterclass webinar for women. And so here we are, we're riding the fire horse. There's celebration here. You know, this is like celebration of like, you've won the gold medal. Congratulations. You've escaped the cave. I'm loving, this is such an interesting color contrast of the Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the colorful neon tarot deck, but I'm loving the green cloak I'm seeing on the purple horse. I feel very Wizard of Oz-ish here with this deck, but we're being celebrated by the universe and we're feeling this celebration. Now, some of you remember too, I've been talking about how to maximize this feeling because sometimes it's like, but there's still this going on. You maximize this by really making sure that you're looking each and every day at the small celebrations, your small accomplishments. And the more you focus on one and then another the next day and then another, you're putting your attention on it and that grows. Yes. Yes. So, Rena, I'm not sure. What's your question? Is that a card you pulled through? I'm sorry to ask. So this little reading here is a collective reading, and we are looking at what we've learned from this retrograde, this Mercury retrograde that is stationing, Mercury stationing today, and then it's going to be direct. So we're looking at the lessons, we're looking at the reflections of the things we learned. Okay, so yeah, no, this is just, it's pulled for this community. Today is collective readings, but hey, you remind me on Sunday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. Central here on the channel for subscribers, I do a live Q&A. So it's probably a good time to remind everybody, I will be live this Sunday night on the 22nd, 7 to 8 p.m. Central. If you'd like a free mini reading, come on there, drop your question in, drop your theme. The community is amazing. Everybody is like so supportive. I do run out of time though, so if you come kind of late, sometimes I miss people just because, I have to protect the energy of the container. I get to as many as I can in that hour, but be sure to come on if you can and drop a question in. So you would definitely get your free, like your personal question answered for free. All right, and it gives you a chance to see how I read. But yeah, today's messages, I often find though, people that join the Frequency Friday sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, like that was a personal message for me. Because of the way I read, I'm really reaching into all of your energies, right? So you will hear some things and you're like, oh yeah, I love that. I love that small celebration, or yeah, I really felt that breaking out of that cave and breaking free, right? So trust your intuition and take what resonates. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Rena. So the Six of Wands, we're feeling, we're starting to get in the habit of celebrating those small victories, right? And we're like, okay, and somehow the universe is responding to this. Somehow we're being recognized for this, which is good. All right, that's a good thing. And we're being celebrated. And this puts us in an amazing position to really come into our throne of power. Now, those of you maybe joined the Fire Horse Temple, you remember me talking about her throne. I love her throne because it goes on. You do not see, there's no ceiling to her throne. There's no stopping the Queen of Wands when she is on fire. So just have a look at the card real quick. I'm loving the magentas and purples in this card. She holds a sunflower, beautiful, fiery Aries energy opening to the sun. She holds a wand of fire. She's got her little black cat. Black cats are my favorite. I don't have a cat, I have a dog, but black cats are my favorite. I love them. And she's got this endless throne that just rises up. this is beautiful because what it's showing us is that through our courage to take off the chains, to get out of the cave, that allegory of the cave, to stop looking at all the reflections and start looking at our day-to-day celebrations. And I'm talking about, you can be as basic as you need to be. This can be as fundamental a celebration it needs to be. It can be like, I got out of bed and made my bed or something. You know, I made my bed today. I got out of bed, I drank some water, right? You start as small of a baby step as you need to, and you celebrate that, and then you just go from there. I folded the laundry, you know, whatever it is that you accomplished. And at first it might seem like, oh, that's a little silly, you know, because the projections of what's being shown to us is all this, you know, they're already there. Everybody's already at their arrival point, right? That's how they position, you know, celebrity culture and all of that kind of thing. Look over here. You've got to be like this, you know. But no, that's not what your soul incarnated to do. That's not why you came here. And it will definitely not help you connect with your courage and that beautiful gift of neutrality where you can withstand the pressures of the world. But this character here, she can withstand it. She transforms it. She doesn't even need to get up out of her seat to do that. Okay, it's all happening within her. And this is the exact person that hops on that fire horse and allows herself or himself to be celebrated, right? You think of the Queen, you think of the King of Wands, to be celebrated and to also be a model of transformation, because the fire, the Wands energy, is about transformation, transformational energies. Wow, I really love that, but I feel like I need something else here to close off the reading. What do I need? Do we need something? Yes. Let's get out from my little tarot tower back here. Let's get out the affirmations for a badass here. Unleash your inner warrior. We've got the New World Warriors online here, hanging out with the creators community. Let's get an affirmation from, this oracle deck. I love it. It's cheeky. It's fun. Let's definitely check it out here. Ooh. Oh, I think we have two. There were two very sticky cards. All right, so the first one connects to, all right, like, let's release these chains. Let's get out of the cave. I am worthy of all the effing good things. Yes, I am worthy of all the effing good things in life. You got to get out of that cave to see it, right? You got to get out there, and you're worthy of it. Not only that, but I'm the author of my own story, and it's a bestseller. I am the author of my own story, and it's a bestseller. It's being celebrated. All right? With authority, my own story. I'm the author. I have authority of my story. Woo! Love it. I love these little cards. Jason got me these. Thank you, Jason. Love these little cards. So fun. Okay. Let's move on to our second tarot reading. And we've got three, so we're on number 2. This one is the Courage Catalyst. So this is about us taking initiative, all right? This is about the moves we're making, all right? Not even the plans, the moves, the actual moves we're making. And the Aries season is really going to call us into that. So let me know in the comments. Tressa says, I am worthy. Yes, you are worthy. And we're going to celebrate that. We're going to celebrate that. But what do you want to take action toward? So you're worthy. What would the creators community like to share and take action toward? Let me know in the comments if you feel called. No pressure, but the invitation's there for you. And while I shuffle here, we're going to get our highest and best messages for how to embody this courage. Got it, Jason. Jason knows the proper usage of your. I know, but if you're doing voice, like if I know you're out and about, Jason's out shopping for soil for us, for our gardens and our plants. Woo. So he might be using voice. All right. The Courage Catalyst. Wow. Okay. You know, this is one of those, sometimes when I pull the cards, I read left to right, and other times I read right to left because the story comes out in certain ways. And because the messages, when I intend to share these messages, even though I'm sharing them at a specific astrological time, they are truly timeless messages, okay? So they're still valid whenever you find this video, right? These messages. So sometimes they don't quite fit that order, and I'm very open to the universe letting me know in what order. And we're going to read right to left. Usually it's left to right. Now we're reading right to left. So the Courage Catalyst, taking initiative. It's looking good, first of all, creators, because it's looking like the only obstacle you have to overcome is yourself. Eight of Swords, self-imposed trap, cage, limiting beliefs, swords energy, right? Now, in the thumbnail here of our Frequency Friday today, I have the sword. There's a glowing sword, and it's the New World Warriors. New World Warriors cannot stay in this energy. Excuse me. You know, feel like I'm feeling the release come out of myself as well. We cannot stay trapped and locked down in this energy, New World Warriors. All right. And the good news is that we're the ones who get to undo the binds, take the blindfolds off, and pick our sword of truth and get on the move. Okay. Now, when it comes to courage, there can be a little bit of doubt sometimes because some of us have taken big leaps before and we've been burned, hurt, felt like we failed, fallen flat on our face, okay? And that's the kind of energy that would cause us to let me shut down and let me not make any moves. So we've got this to overcome, but the good news is it's just something we need to overcome mentally with the sword's energy here. We need to make up our darn mind to say, no, I'm not going to stay in this cage. I'm not going to play small anymore. I'm not going to stay trapped. And I know that I can immediately, like, again, like the chains we saw in the first reading, the first breakout reading, these are just loose bandages. We can just remove them. It's like an ace bandage, perhaps behind her back. And in some decks, you can see that the character has a hold of them like they're not even tied. Let them go. Take off the blindfold. Grab your sword of truth here. Step out of the cage. You're the one who can free yourself. The 8, okay, this being the 8 card, the 8 being connected to abundance, to infinite flow, right? Being on the solar spiral of creation is a fortunate number. But we have to release ourselves from these self-imposed binds, okay? Because it is our fall downs, it is our failures, it is the things that stopped us in our tracks that make us stronger. And we can view those still as a success because we learned something really profound from those experiences. Sometimes that's hard lessons. They don't come easy. They come with grief. They come with things we have to let go. But it makes the journey worth it. Now, we're kind of in the order that this reading is going here. It is acknowledging, okay, when you release this and you grab your sword, that may give you an opportunity to take a step back. We're moving back into the 6 of Swords here. To resolve, there's a lot of water in this card. We're resolving any turbulent emotions, okay? Now, what's really one of the most helpful symbols that I've found recently to help with this emotional turbulence that sometimes we feel inside, we get worked up, might come through in anxiety, frustration, might come through in depression, sadness, is this gift of neutrality. The Nautilus, this creature here, living deep in the seas. And I like to think this creature has experienced more of the oceans than humans have. So it has some sort of just innate biological wisdom. It has chambers within that it can shift, and it can withstand pressures near the ocean floor that other creatures cannot. And it can adapt its buoyancy. Okay, it can adapt its naturally, it adapts to the exact buoyancy that it wants to take place. If it wants to float up, it can. If it wants to stay submerged, it can. But it equalizes all of that from within. So some of you with this massive amount of water in this card have withstood a lot, and you're still going. And so there's not only courage coming through here, there's tenacity. However, maybe emotionally, these waters have been really large and you do need a little bit of a break. The Six of Swords is about, let me move out of these energies of playing small, being trapped, be caged. I'm acknowledging my emotions because we don't want to bypass those, do we? We've all done the emotional bypassing too. We're not going to bypass those. We're going to travel through the waters though. And we're going to head for, calmer waters. We're going to head for the, nice tropical respite, the island. I'm going to think Hawaii here because I love Hawaii. I love the island of Kauai. So, when I'm in my little raft here, I'm imagining myself paddling toward that beautiful shore in Kauai and really feeling that beautiful natural energy and beautiful depth of that island experience, okay? And so whatever it is for you, the Six of Swords, it does help to kind of have that goal of your happy place, okay? I find, because you're still dealing with swords energy, you're sorting through the emotions connected to it. You're swimming in a sea of emotions with your mental energy still there. But you're aiming for calmer waters. It really does represent that you've been somewhere tricky. The Five of Swords precedes it, and that's where you've been really pulled into the edges. And the Six of Swords gives you some respite, but you're still acknowledging the emotions, especially coming into play there. Tressa said, like you asked this week, what would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail? And I think that's a great question to ask ourselves each and every day. It's a great daily practice. Like, what would I do? And you can even ask, what would I do today if I knew I could not fail? And you can ask yourself that every day. Is the answer the same? Right? This will inform you in so many ways. Really think about, and I think, Tressa, you had the experience where you let the first thing just arise out of you. You didn't try to control it with your mind. When you ask yourself the question, what bubbles up out of your heart and soul? Yeah, Matthew, absolutely. It makes a great daily journal prompt. It does. And that may be something that I'm going to start. That's a great suggestion, and just see what bubbles up. You'll start to see and feel how your heart and your soul are talking to you, what your greater being really wants to say, right? Rather than some of the mental energies get in the way. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? Because the mind wants to, remember you failed. Just stay here, stay safe. You can't do anything. You can't go anywhere, but at least you're just hanging out. It's kind of a stagnation energy, right? So getting that journal prompt, yeah, absolutely using the journals is amazing. Or even voice notes. Have you guys ever just recorded like little notes to yourself, like on your phone, voice notes? Those can be another way to And then you can go back and you can see they all date stamp them, and boom, you can listen to like, where was I at? Where has my soul said the same thing? What is, and what voice am I listening to within myself? Now, here's where the beautiful and powerful Aries energies actually come in for this courage catalyst reading and initiative. And we got the card of Aries, number 4, the Emperor. Now, you look at this card and you think, well, he's not even standing up, you know? But one of the things that has like kind of stood out to me in some of these major arcana cards lately that hasn't always stood out in the past is that they're wearing the armor. And so the Emperor has journeyed through being the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles. The Emperor has been all of those knights and has earned, because that's 4, number 4 different knights, right, of the 4 elements, and he's earned his spot here. So he has taken much action. He has taken a lot of action, and he's seated comfortably within his own stability, his own inner stability from all of those experiences and balancing out those elements. Oh my goodness, how fun. I can't wait to do the Emperor and the Empress as archetypes for the Archetype Library. So a lot of times when we think of Aries, we think of like, they're kind of very active energy. Sometimes they act and don't think of, they just kind of bulldoze through with their energy, right? But is that the highest, is that the highest and best way to do things? Not really, but that can be an aspect of Aries. But what's really great is when an Aries is in their highest elevation, they, from this balance place, from the balance of the elements and their experiences, they can take really aligned action, really powerful, stable, aligned action. And I'm feeling like, whew, some of us feel that. Some of us may still be connected to the times we had to go through all those different energies. A knight's journey isn't always glamorous, right? It's hard. You're down in the muck. You have to like camp out with the bugs and the things, like being a knight. Yeah, in court, you might be revered and such, but out in the field, it's not easy. But the Emperor is an acknowledgement of the journey of the 4 knights. So this is something that I've kind of recently come to there. All right. So releasing the mind. Yes, they look like skeleton legs, don't they? But it's like armor, like a knight's armor. And maybe it's like they almost look like skeleton legs because it's like we see through that. We see through the illusions from the value of the experiences of the path that we've journeyed even. I need an oracle card for this. 1 second. Let me think about this here. Yeah, since we're talking about the elements, I'm going to go to the elemental oracle here for an oracle card. And somebody started to mow, so you're going to hear mowing. It's already that time again. Ah. I went outside yesterday. I was having my kids, because we homeschool, so we were like they were playing basketball and we're doing a little yard work. Picking up sticks. Picking up sticks from when the storm blew them all off the neighbor's tree into our yard. I was like, oh man, I was looking around. I'm like, I could stay out here all day doing stuff, picking up sticks, burning them, getting the garden ready, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to spend a little time this weekend, I think, doing that as well. Kind of break it up. All right. We got number 11. Oh, master number 11. Look at this sweet card. Comfort, the hearth. Yeah, this beautiful energy is coming in and talking about the home, the place we retreat to with the Six of Swords, the place that provides us stability. I think that's just the sweetest card. It's also kind of given me a vibe of like, for the courage catalyst, we have Jupiter in Cancer right now, and Jupiter is now direct. In fact, when Mercury goes direct, we're going to have all of the planets direct until around May 5th or 6th. Okay, so we've got like over a month here where we're going to have all the planets direct. So some of you might be making changes around home and hearth, bringing that beautiful, what'd you call it, like rust-colored couch, right? Rust and paprika-colored couch into your home, the interior decorating kind of thing, switching something up, making something more comfortable for yourselves here. Because you're acknowledging this journey you've been on, what you've broken free from, all of your failures, all of the parts of the journey that you learned from, and bringing it into your home space. I think that's a beautiful sentiment there coming in. And I love labs. I love Labradors so much. Absolutely, probably one of my favorite breeds of dogs. Love them. I love the retrievers like that. I had a couple of black lab mixes. They were fantastic dogs. And every time I see one, their energy is so goofy and fun and vibrant and smart at the same time. You know, they have a little bit of all those good qualities. So I had to plug the Labradors there for a moment. Very, very sweet card that we got. All right, let's get into our third and final breakout reading, the New World Warrior, okay? So this is, you can take up this position if you want to. It's up to you. And we probably will wrap up a little early today on Frequency Friday just because I'm taking my kids to a homeschool roller skate event here in a little while. So this might be a little bit shorter, but that's okay. We go with it. It's been power packed. There's been a lot of messages that have come through. So let's see what we need to know about embodying the New World Warrior, becoming this new archetype, and wielding the Sword of Truth. Ooh, we've got some powerful cards here. 2 major arcana cards have come up. And the King of Pentacles. Let's start with the King of Pentacles here. The pentacles represent the earth energies, okay? So this could be a shout out to those of you earth signs out there, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energies. But this is also a mastery over the material world. This is where the energy really comes in and new world warriors begin to get the resources they need. Everything comes to this character. He doesn't have to go chase it down. And it's the same with the Queen of Pentacles. She doesn't have to go chase it down. The resources come to her. The opportunities come to her. The collaborations come to her or him. Okay? It comes to you. All right. Now, Pentacles tends to be time-wise a little bit slower energy. So sometimes you can feel like nothing's happening with this energy. Like when am I really going to feel like I've got it down, right? And it can be a little bit tricky to embody the patience needed to really call these things in. But this is coming up and saying, hey, you're already working with a mastery level energy here. Creators, you're already doing this. And so I kind of think like the King of Pentacles is sitting confidently, and his throne kind of reminds me of the Emperor's throne a little bit. Except it's the Taurus, the bull there. Is it the bull and the lion? Kind of hard to tell in this deck. And it's the rams here, right? But we've got that stability, and we're digging in, and we're letting those things come to us. We're letting our courage come, our bravery, our neutrality. We're letting these frequencies come to us and work with us, and we're embodying those energies. Pentacles is about the embodiment. It's physical and material. Then we got two major arcana cards, which are really cool to look at here. We got the Magician, which will be highlighted on next Wednesday's video as one of our archetypes, right? This is the number 1. Now, I have a very interesting take too on the Magician that I've learned from one of my mentors that has to do with, in the traditional card, we see the elemental tools sitting on the table. The Magician has traded them out for the Wand of the Ether. And it just so beautifully represents our experience here, because the Wand of the Ether is like the power to work in the etheric realms, right? But wait a minute, we just jumped into this reality as the Fool, the 0 card, and here the number 1 card, the Magician. We don't yet know. We may be trying to manifest without the proper knowledge and wisdom around these elements and these tools. Now, we have to be careful of that. With the King of Pentacles and with the Emperor that I saw in the Courage, I felt like, okay, we have been on the journey with these elements. I was seeing the Knights. But you also have to remember that many, many people that you're relating to and dealing with out there in society, they're trying to do this without the knowledge of having this. So this table can be viewed as, these are the tools I've collected and I've mastered, which would be kind of hard to jump right in and master everything, right? Jump right into the reality field and you're already a master. So you have to ask yourself, or do I need to set this wand down? Right? And oftentimes the universe kind of has this like self-correcting mechanism that it offers us, because it will say, okay, you're trying to manifest this. I'm not going to give it to you yet because there's a block in one of these elemental energies. You haven't embodied something, or there's a subconscious thought with the sword that's interfering, that's blocking you from receiving. And so sometimes we have to put down that wand of the ether, and we have to take the journey through the rest of the archetypes, the major arcana archetypes, right? And maybe we have to do a cycle, pass through that before we can come back and really embody that manifestation energy that we're looking for. Now the other major arcana card that came up today that goes along with this Magician, interestingly, is the Death card. This is the number 13. It's connected to the sign of Scorpio. So death is a transformative process. And when we're looking at the energies, so if we're creator beings and we're looking at the energies and we're looking at our power of manifestation, and it's not coming into us in the way we would like it to, something needs to transmute, something needs to be transformed, and that's what the death energy is. Maybe it's an old subconscious thought or belief that needs to die. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a pattern. Maybe it's a habit. Maybe it's a relationship. Something needs to transform here in order for us to really call in the resources and the tools that we need in order to manifest what we're going for, our goals. Remembering the whole while, and the Death card Skeleton Knight here is a character that is on a journey, on the horse, okay? And encountering all kinds of energies as he goes, kind of like that Grim Reaper energy, right? For some of you, it could be, and I'm getting some feelings here. I'm getting some itching and stuff. It could be a literally reevaluating your relationship to physical death. We do have the King of Pentacles. We have the Death card here. Some of you may be dealing with loss, grief. or just coming to your own realizations, your own inner knowing and depth around death and life and the cycle, okay? Very, very interesting energies there. I've got to go to an oracle deck. I'm seeing it now here. It's right behind me. This Beyond Lemuria, because I think when we think about ancient Lemuria, which is, you know, modern day Hawaiian Islands, which I love, I have a personal connection to all that. We think about the immersion in nature. Think about the immersion in nature. So let's get our oracle card message from the Beyond Lemuria oracle here and see what the universe would like us creator beings to know, because this energy of becoming this new archetype, becoming the new world warrior, it's requiring a lot out of us, you know, and once you leave the cave and you let go of the illusions, you cannot go back. You can try, but that usually backfires on people real quick. You can't unknow what you've come to know, right? You know what you know now. And so let's see if we can get a little bit of guidance from the ancient Lemurians for our journey here in becoming the new world warrior archetype. We got number 13. For those of you who are air signs, a little reprieve for you, maybe some fresh air coming through. Air, paradigm shift. We're literally going through a paradigm shift. And look at this amazing image, just colorful, like the aqua colors, the magentas, the purples coming up again. We've even got the orangey red in there as well. To me, this deck is a little bit psychedelic, right? It kind of has like a little bit of a psychedelic vibe, maybe a real, like a, kind of reminds me of magic mushrooms or something here. But connecting in with the natural world, not forgetting, not leaving behind the natural world, knowing that to become the new world warrior, we're still embracing nature. We're still embracing, which the Lemurians did. Now we're in a kind of a unique time because we kind of have the Atlantis energies, which was heavy technology. We have the Lemurian, which was heavy nature. And the new message here, the new world warriors bringing in here is, where do we find the blend of both? Where do we find the blend of both? Because both are happening. How do we balance out these energies? Something's being offered here as well. We have an offering coming. Maybe it is that new inspiration, that new idea that you have. Don't be afraid to take whatever it is you know to the next level. That's what I get. Someone needed to hear, don't be afraid to take whatever you know to the next level. Which is exactly, you know, one of the things I'm doing with blending astrology and tarot into a method of astrotarology. Don't be afraid to do that. I mean, the algorithms don't even know what astrotarology is yet. When you type it into Google, you get astrotheology. It auto corrects it, all right? And I feel like you, as a new world warrior, you're bringing something new through the paradigm, and we're going to have to train the reality field to respond. Very interesting, very interesting. Powerful energies. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure we have a full picture vision on what this new world warrior looks like yet. We're becoming it as we speak. So this is probably going to be one that I mark down that we revisit throughout the year, maybe even into 2027. Yeah, I'm feeling there's more we're going to need to talk about on this. So stay tuned for that. All right, a little bit shorter Frequency Friday than normal. Be sure to join me on Sunday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. Central, this Sunday, the 22nd, for those free mini readings, one question or one theme per person, please. But it's a great way to be a part of a community and get yourself a little mini reading and maybe get a question answered, get a little guidance, right? And kind of see my style. I would love for you all to subscribe. The live Q&As that I do every other Sunday night are for subscribers only because we want it to be kind of a special exclusive event for our creators community. Be sure to share the channel with a friend or someone in your spiritual circle because grassroots are the best roots here. So we want people who are going to be engaged, who are doing the work, who are really looking to become the new world warrior. If that is you, definitely, stay tuned because there's going to be a lot more going on here. Creators, say it with me now. Stay tuned, stay true, and keep creating. I'll see you next time, okay? And maybe Sunday night. Ooh, there we go.